Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my live feeds or my videos, just take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Well, here we are, Wednesday, leaning into more and more of that glorious full moon, blue moon energy. It has been quite the couple days energetically. I was on Monday and we did a lot of talking about that, and I'm just here to little bit of review and a little bit of some guidance and to kind of see where everyone's at with all this energy. It's been quite intense. I'm feeling that at a very intense level. Good morning, everyone. Come on in. Let's get yourselves comfortable and get ready to have some discussion. I am a little bit on some limited time here this morning. I do have to cut short, so that's why I'm on a few minutes early just to give us some extra time. So here we are with this full moon energy. I hope you guys are hanging in there. Anybody else feeling like just this powerhouse intensity? You might not even know what's coming like what's it all about. You can just feel it or in your awareness, or perhaps you're seeing it in other people. There's just this intensity, and it has excitement, it has uncertainty, it has a whole bunch of mixed emotions going on. Yeah, a lot of yeses coming on here. It's been intense. It has been a powerhouse energy. And I know I said this earlier in the week. I don't think I've ever felt such a powerful full moon. And I am a big moon person. I love the moon. I connect with the moon all the time. But this moon, there's a rarity to it that I am feeling at a very intense level. Some of you may be feeling some physical stuff going on too. I talked about the achiness. I talked about some stomach stuff. There's been a little bit of headache, that tension. Maybe some of your shoulders have been sore. If you're holding any tension in your body, it's going to be amplified even more and more. Look at all the validation here. Yeah, yeah. It's been very, very interesting as far as the physical stuff that's going on. I personally don't usually feel the physical stuff myself. It's just been insane. Also, some sleep stuff has been going on. I didn't sleep well last night. Um, I was up a lot. I was restless. I had this restlessness that was just again, it almost felt like I was a little kid on Christmas Eve. There was just this anticipation about this new moon. Um oh, Cheyenne, you've got some important messages. I'm finally ready to share. Cheyenne, if you can just hold off on a moment, I'd be happy to give you the space to dive into that. In ancient times, so let's just back up a little bit with just for a moment. In ancient times, society followed the lunar cycle rather than the solar cycle. So instead of following the 12 man-made months and 365 days a year, there was always 13 moons that they follow rather than a calendar. And on the years that there were on the I think it's every 2.5 years, we on average we get blue moons. It was a very sacred time and a very special time in ancient times when they followed the blue moon that way. So we do have that memory of our ancestries within us, and probably that's why we often really connect with the blue moon. So I think that over the next 2 days, things that are coming up for you. So take a look at what's been coming up for you. If it's emotions, if you're more aware of what needs to change, perhaps you're feeling, and it may come in a very positive way. It doesn't always have to be, the heavy emotions or anything like that. For me, it's been a lot of excitement. I just have this power, excitement. Whatever's going to be landing in front of me is going to bring a lot of excitement. That's how I'm feeling it. I'm also doing. I talked on Monday about my own releasing. I'm going to be doing some my own releasing. I'm really pulled to water for whatever reason in this blue moon cycle. I'm really feeling that pulled to do some journaling and some letting go and to creating that space. Now, sometimes when we create space and as we watch things kind of fade into the background a little bit, we kind of have that fearful moment. I want you to just be careful of any fear energy that you may be pulling in. So sometimes because it's that whole change piece, that whole unknown piece, that whole well, if that falls away from me, then what? So there's just we're turning into this pivot, and for some of us, it's going to come really, really like almost like a sharp turn. No, I'm going this way, I'm going this way, and all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, I'm going to be turning that way. It feels quite pivotal to me, to be honest with you. And to but with as we navigate through that, it's going to bring us into a big old space collectively with a lot of delicious juices that are going to start flowing through us. Now, physical world is going through some stuff. The physical world is also doing some releasing, and when we're going through releasing, what that feels like is we get shown what needs to go. And sometimes that can, it can be upsetting when we're seeing things happening in the physical world. But this is what's coming up is there's a huge, and I'll use the word shift, or awakening, but there's a huge pivot that's going to be coming up full force, and we're just being shown what we need to disconnect from, what we need to not play in, what we need to not dance in. It's going to come in like this big old washing wave, and it's going to bring us in big new spaces. Kayla, I can feel that the huge shift. I will get back. I see the chat. I will get back and kind of review some of your comments. I promise I'll get back to that. Now, one of the things that's really, really in my awareness is this whole desire of clearing space. So, and that can be within, like, things that you need to stop putting your attention to, or it can also be in our physical home. So you may be pulled to kind of, get rid of some things or do some cleaning. I talked a little bit about that as well on Monday. But reflect on where you are, were the words that I channeled this morning. This is a glorious time to express gratitude for all that's good in your life, to express gratitude for the lessons that you learned, and even the hard stuff. I always say to spirit and to my spirit guides, that was really tough, but I'm grateful for the learning that occurred in that. This is a really good time for reflect on where you are. And one of the things that kind of ties into is one of my favorite sayings is you can only go forward from where you stand. Right. So reflect on where you are, and because you can only go forward from where you stand. And when I heard those words, reflect on where you are, and pulling in that gratitude and pulling in all that learning, it has that natural space of clearing, right? We can't go back anyway. So it was like a bit of a aha. Okay, I get it. There's a lot that we need to kind of shift out of. Now, as always, and it's always a good time. You don't have to wait for a full moon or a blue moon for that matter. But our intentions, to always kind of looking where our intentions. What kind of momentum do you want to go in, even if you don't have the answers, even if you don't have, like, all, I want to do this or I want to do that. Just setting those intentions for my highest good things in, for my highest good, abundance. And always adding that, how I like to talk about the recipe, always adding a big old dash of gratitude. We need to kind of visualize in our mind where we want to go, what we want to see, how do we want to feel. That's kind of the space that we need to lean into as we're clearing out all this space, is how do we want to feel. There's that saying, happiness is an inside job, right? Not a new not a new phrase. And it's so true. How do we want to feel? What do we want to come in? And this is a great opportunity to kind of, lean into a fresh chapter. Like I said, I think it was last week, and I might have mentioned it on Monday, and I think a few of you even acknowledged it. It kind of feels like a New Year's Eve. Like, it has that feeling to it with this moon, and allowing yourself to kind of lean in there and celebrating that. There's also a piece, speaking of celebrating, leaning into celebrating who you are. Like, leaning into celebrating all those beautiful pieces of you, even the broken ones. Like, here you are, right? Really allow yourself to feel that this full moon as well. I don't think we give ourselves enough of that space of celebrating. It's just, so whatever celebrating means for you, do that. If it means turning up the music, if it means dancing, if it means giving yourself a good old fashioned toast, here's to me and my learning. Right? So I think we really need to kind of pull it together with all of our spiritual practices, and with all of who we are, and to just kind of feel that in the next 2 days. The next 2 days are going to be very powerful energy. Give yourself the space. The other thing that I want to touch base on is remember it's all intention. So if you can't get out under the full moon or whatever, whether it be because of your work schedule, whatever that it is, the energy's all around us anyway. You can do it in the middle of the afternoon. Right. So, you don't have to sit there and wait for the moon. It might be cloudy where you are. You might not even get to see it. That doesn't matter. It's all energy and it's all what we put our attention to. And whatever space that you're in, whatever timelines that you're working in, give yourself a few minutes to do that. I had one somebody messaged me about, well, what do I do if it's cloudy when I'm making moon water? And the response is very simple. The moon's there anyway. The clouds are not going to take away the energy. The moon's there anyway, right? So just kind of lean into that. Lean into that space and honor yourself as well. Whatever you connect to, do that. I'm a huge, I like to play that on repeat because what resonates with me or what resonates with Joy or what resonates with Kayla or Wesley doesn't necessarily mean that's the only way. You got to find your own way through this. You got to find your own feelings and your own emotions and tap into that. Celebrate yourself during this full moon and give yourself that space to connect with yourself. There's also a powerful feminine energy coming in. So there's this gentleness that you may want to lean into as well, leaning into that gentle feeling that just be gentle with yourself, giving yourself some grace, giving yourself the permission. I'm trying not to be nosy. There's a lot of comments and the smiley faces and laughing, and I'm trying to stay, I'm trying to stay with the chit chat. But that's a me. That's not a you guys. But I will get back to it. But there's something funny going on, and I really want to know. So I will get to the comments. I promise. Whatever resonates with you, do that. Right. So, I always have the, curious neighbors as my neighbors in my neighborhood, like, what are you up to over there? And it's, sometimes they look at me like I've got, three heads, and sometimes they're, oh, I want to try that too. But just lean in to what works for you, Bianca, and being proud of myself. Yes, yes, we are here learning, and this is a great opportunity to honor that part of you, right? It's not easy being here. It truly isn't, but you need to give yourself that opportunity to tap into all that great stuff that you're doing, all of the hard stuff that you're learning. The baby steps are important. Diane, my dog's name is Luna. Mine as well. I have a little Luna. But just really enjoy the magic and do it your way. And that was interesting, that was the song that started playing in my awareness and, as I was tapping into my meditation this morning, was do it your way, right? I'm going to do it my way. Celebrate that. Enjoy it. Let go. We're all going to go through this very differently. We're all going to have our own experiences with it. Do what resonates with you. All right, let's scroll up here and have a quick read. I do have to be mindful of the time here, so um, all right, here we go. Florida has a hurricane going through right now. Oh, Spring Hall, sending love, light, and protection to all of you that are experiencing that. Um, a lot of validation on the intensity. Very interesting. Tin, I've been feeling a bunch of triggers coming up. So when we start to feel that, so Tin, many, many, many of us, if not all of us, are going to feel a lot of those triggers in the next couple days. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge them and give them permission to go. Taking a look at the lesson, I learned that from that experience. I can let that go. Our brain doesn't forget our experiences. So when something happens, your brain goes, oh yeah, but don't trust. Oh yeah, but stay angry. Oh yeah, but so we do lean in there. So acknowledge it. Yep. That I experienced, brain, you're 100% right. I experienced, and I've learned this, and it's time to release it. Give that a try. And sometimes with triggers or with anything that we're holding on to, sometimes we have to release them over and over and over again. And sometimes, and this comes up for me as well. I will not have anything, trigger for several years, and then all of a sudden it's just like that space, and it's like it's okay. It's time to let that go again. I'm remembering I can let that go again. Okay, I hope that helps there, Jen. Cheyenne, I feel this very. Yes, I feel it very strong. I have in fact woke wrote a poem about healing and kind of want to share it with everyone. I just don't know how. Cheyenne, what you're welcome to do is you're welcome if you want to put it in the chat. Or I'm not quite sure if there's a way if you want to share it to. Oh, you could probably make a post on the YouTube channel. You're welcome to share it there as well. Whatever works for you, Cheyenne, you are more than welcome to share with the group. I'm very supportive of everybody enjoying this community because it's your community as well. So feel free to share. Um, Peyton, feeling so much lately. Tears of joy, as much as tears of release. Beautiful. Maria is. I felt the shift. Diane's agreeing with some of the headaches. Most important messages. I'm finally ready to share. Kayla didn't sleep well either. My neck and shoulders are so tight, and I've also had sleep troubles. So Melissa and for anybody else who's struggling with a little bit of the of the body aches or the awareness of the tightness in your body, real tap in. There's something that you're holding on to, and sometimes and I'll feel that and I'm like, oh, why am I so tense? There's nothing, and there's nothing really bothering me, but we do hold experiences in our physical body. So if you're not sure exactly what it is, simply do like whatever, again, what resonates with you, do a release, whether it be soaking in a tub with a little bit of Epsom salt or some or a bath bomb, whatever resonates with you, with setting the intention of letting go and releasing. Very important. Dee Dee, my mom's leg and arm issues on Monday was psychosomatic, still has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, but the weakness was the stress. Oh, I'm glad she's feeling a little bit better with that. Pink peonies, hey there, darling. I'll give Lana a big like. I appreciate your likes. I really do. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Tin, you mentioned I've been sleeping. Oh, now that you mentioned sleep, I've been sleeping good last week, and I found that kept waking up the other night for no reason. We are subconsciously aware of energy around us. So when we're sleeping, our subconscious, our higher self is aware of the energy that is circulating and percolating around us. And I felt that a lot the last, especially last night. I was waking up like I literally felt like I wanted to sneak down and see what was under the Christmas tree, even though there's no Christmas tree up yet. That's how it felt. So and I don't fight it. I truly don't fight it. If I need to get up and talk to my spirit guides or just feel the energy, I've learned not to fight it. That's a me thing. There's something that I need to kind of process or hear from spirit. So I do get up. But if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. Cheyenne, oh yes, my body is going crazy in terms of pains and stuff, and my digestive system is going nuts. And yes, last night I got random surge of energy when I wanted to go to sleep. There you go. There, yeah. I think we're going to be feeling that for the next 2 to 3 days. And at the end of this full moon cycle, and I'll talk a bit more about it Friday, but we are going to feel that exhaustion come in after this as well. I'm hoping to pop on Friday and we'll have that discussion because there will be like this you know I don't want to say like a side effect, but like a hangover. Excuse me, it's kind of how it's going to come in. Um, Maria, I've been seeing sunflowers everywhere. It is a song from my dad. Has he had any messages for me? Maria, when you lean in there, okay, let's just tap in there. I want you to tap in because one of the biggest things that I love to do to you guys is to teach you. So when you see the sunflowers and a song, if you feel it connecting to your dad, do you feel that? Right? Because you have that awareness within you. And I can see you nodding your head. Yeah, I felt it was my dad. And one thing that he's saying is when you think of the sunflowers, they're a very happy flower, right? So when spirit gives us a sign, sometimes we overthink it, sometimes we question it. Is that my dad? Is it just a sunflower? Go with how you feel and what the message pertains to what you're seeing. I really feel it's a reminder to stay in that happiness. I also feel that I'm happy for you in there. I have to add that. I feel like I'm happy for you. I also feel I don't know if did he speak a lot with his hands or his body movements because I feel like I need to move my body when I speak. But he's very, very much happy for you and wants you to see the happy all around you and to enjoy. And I also hear that I need to let you know that you got to start enjoying it more. So I don't know if things have been really busy and you haven't been sitting in that vibration of joy and happy, but kind of sit there. And if it means sitting with a sunflower or finding a sunflower field, or even just with a sunflower image on your device. Let that be enough. But 100%, when it comes to spirit and you feel like I always say, when people say, oh, I seen this, was it a sign from my loved one? And I always say to them, what do you feel from that? Because we have the ability to tap into our loved ones in the spirit dimensions. And I always take every moment that I possibly can to teach. So yeah, so glorious. um Lana, my life is turning into a bit of a real life soap opera. Myself and my husband have been hurt by this family, and they have now interfered in my business. Any guidance? 100%. I've got some guidance on that. Go to your heart space to deal with things. First of all, I always go to my heart space to deal with things. Number two, one thing that we have to kind of remind ourselves is, am I in my lane too? And where are the boundaries? Right? So lovingly back to the heart space when setting them. And sometimes it helps to look at it. And this is the hard part. It gets really hard to kind of say, what lessons are they learning? Sometimes we're the teacher and sometimes we're the student. And sometimes we have to kind of like teach people lovingly. Now that's okay. But when we're watching a soap, or when we're involved in a soap opera, you still hold the remote. You hold the remote. We decide what we're going to participate in. We decide what we're gonna allow. So very lovingly to the heart space, because it's easy to not go to the heart space and have that knee jerk reaction. Change the channel. I love you so much, but we're not doing this. Right? I love you so much, but I'm not playing in that. I love you so much, but we just can't. Right? And change the channel. And it is hard, and sometimes we have to let go of those of allowing that, but from that heart space. And sometimes people don't receive that well. We all know that. So, sometimes people don't receive our boundaries, or don't receive our desires very well. But do it from your heart space, and the dust will settle. But you do have the ability to change the channel, right? So, um, I hope that helps you there, beauty. Okay, Cheyenne's poem is literally about releasing fear. I love that so much. Fear is a big, and we've been kind of sitting in that fear for a little bit now. It got amplified over the last couple of years. It's really important that we don't feed it, that we just step out of it and release it. Cheyenne, I'd love to hear your poem. Diane Quinn, I've been writing down everything that has been bothering me, things that I need to let go. Tonight I will burn all the pages. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Diane. Kayla, I can feel that the huge shift, big shifts coming. Um, Kayla, do my guides need anything from me to grow our relationship? So when it comes to growing your relationship with your spirit guides, you've got to be a participant. Continue to participate in that growth. Just a few quick little tips. Talk to them. I've got a space for my spirit guides to sit with me during meditations. I've got a space for them to in my vehicle, where I take them everywhere I go. I continue the conversations, but the trust factor, like any relationship, trusting. So, if starting slow and starting small, asking for directions, which way do I go, right or left, those kind of things, and then building that up to the bigger things, the trust space. Dee Dee, stop focusing on mom's narcissistic behavior. We know she is what she is. Start focusing on me. Let go of the past pain, and start living by my own rules. Thank you. I'm there. Wonderful. I love it. Right. You said that beautifully. That's not yours. It's somebody else's experience. And we don't have to get pulled in. Beautifully said. Bianca, random question. I question. I randomly reconnected with someone I used to know from the past. I had the biggest crush on him years ago, but nothing happened. Seeing him Friday. Any advice from spirit on this? Haha. I love, and this is interesting timing on this with this whole moon, because I talked a little bit last week about how relationships can change, and how people can change, and reconnecting. We would go through some reconnecting and some disconnecting in relationships. One thing that I really have to encourage you, Bianca, is really stay in the moment with it. Right, when we meet people or reconnect to people, there's usually a reason, and it may be a very small reason, and it may be a medium reason, or it may be a very big reason. Stay in that energy, and just stay in that power of now. I'm just going to allow this experience. today and just see where it goes, because sometimes we try to get too far ahead of it, or we overthink it, and or we just stay. I'm going to meet somebody that I haven't seen in a while, I'm going to enjoy the reconnection, because people change, right? Everybody's had their experiences and their stories and whatnot, and I'm going to enjoy the connection today with that curiosity, right? With the and just kind of stay into that. It's really important. And sometimes even when we meet people from our past, I'll go to the other end of things. Have you ever bumped into somebody that maybe you didn't have the greatest experience with many years ago, and you run into them? You got to kind of keep in mind that they have also learned their lessons and may have grown from their experiences and have shifted and shedded layers as we all have, right? So I always kind of lean into that. And I just had this conversation with somebody who said, oh my gosh, I'm seeing somebody that was, we had a terrible experience together. And I said, well, how long ago was that? Well, it was about 15 years ago, Lana. And I simply said, well, a lot of growth could have occurred there too. There could have been a lot of healing on that person too. Go from where you stand. Right? Let's go with where you're start from where you're standing with it. There we go. I'm trying to try and catch a few more here. Embracing the darker parts of yourself as well as the light ones too. Absolutely. We all have broken pieces. We all have that shadow within. We have to love ourselves as a whole. The good, the bad, and the ugly pieces too, right? And the learning that we've done. And sometimes when we hold on to the shadow pieces of ourselves, we bring in that embarrassment and that shame, and sometimes we'll pull in regret, and you just have to lean into, I was learning that. I was learning that at that point in my life. And it's okay to release that. I was learning that at that point in my life, right? Older versions of you, or even yesterday's version of you, we're different than what we were yesterday. We're different. When we met here on Monday, we were all different. We've learned a couple of new things since then. We've let go a couple different things since then. We have grown since then, and that's the process that we're here to experience, right? Magic. What a magical morning we're having. Bianca, I just turned 25. My birthday always feels like New Year's for me. I just set the intentions out for what I want and practice gratitude. Happy birthday, 25. What a beautiful number. Um, Kyle, I want to take advantage of this full moon to let go of the love of my life this far. I'm tired of feeling this pain. It's been years and I still miss him. Any messages or advice from my guides? Yes, Kyle, I do have some beautiful advice on this. One thing that may never change is the love that you hold in your heart for this person. This person came to you at a divine timing in your life. There were many lessons, there were many great times, but the love that you have in your heart for that person will always be held in a sacred, safe space there. When it comes time for people to move on, what suddenly starts to happen is the universe or your spirit guides or source energy, whatever word you want to use, starts to show us that the soul contract or the time has come where you're both meant to go this way. And when we kind of hold on, that gets louder and louder, right? Rather, we start arguing more, or we start to hurt more, we start to hurt each other more. And it's about, now it's time to go on your own way. I love you enough to let you experience and explore life without me. And I love myself enough to go in my own direction to grow. I'm grateful for what you taught me. These are all conversations you can have with yourself, Kyle, when you're letting this person go. I'm grateful for what you taught me, and I'm happy that we're going to have our own separate adventures now. And it kind of gives permission. It's almost like we need permission to let people go sometimes. And it's hard when it's in relationships, because we do have that heart space, that love for somebody, so hold that. That will always be there. It may not be as loud as it was before, but there's always that sacred, that space that someone will hold in our heart space. So giving yourself and giving this person permission. I'm wishing you well on your journey. I love you enough to wish you well, and I love myself enough to move forward. I hope, and Kyle, feel free, or anybody, feel free to use your own words, or to, if these words resonate with you, use them. But it really helps when we kind of lean into there, because you've used the words, love of my life, right? Love of my life. right? And there will be other loves of your life. There will be other people and places and and events that are going to hold a space. That heart space is very big. It's not like, there's only room for one or two or three. There's a lot of space in that. So just kind of giving yourself permission. I love myself enough to move forward. Time for change, right? If things are very clear that it's time to move forward, then the soul contract's over. Understood. Universe is what I say, even though it's hard. Understood. Right? So there you go. Um, and Kyle, you know what? I just feel I'm not finished there with you. I just want you to know how loved you are. You are truly loved, energetically by the universe, by other people. You are so loved and supported through this, my friend. All right. I know this is short and sweet, but I do have to. I've got another little road trip that I have to go on. I am going to be on here Friday morning briefly, and I'm really hoping to get a good hour or so where I just do channeling in the upcoming week or so. So I will try to get that in there as well. I know there's a lot of comments and questions that I have not yet answered, but I do have to let you go. Cheyenne, all you need to realize is that it's you and that shadow ego will come to. Absolutely. Nature is best, can cause giving your shadow much love, makes it become your biggest fan. Absolutely. There's a lot of great comments and a lot of great support here for everybody. I'm so grateful for this community. I just want to, say that again. I love you all. I love the space. I love the support. I love how you all chime in. This, community is a huge piece of what's coming. I've already started a little bit of my fall to January channeling a little bit, and community keeps coming up, right? Thumbs up. Have a wonderful day. As always, love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care, my friends.